Get ready because Disney is going to release Zootopia 3 very soon. But do we already know what is going to happen in the story of this movie? Revenge. The story of the next movie should show a revenge plan that the Lynx family is preparing against Officer Judy and Nick. Fans know this because now the villains of the franchise are all together in the same place. Putting the Lynx family in the same prison as former Mayor Bellwether is a very dangerous idea. That's because even though they are villains, these characters have helpers who are still outside of jail. The Lynxes, for example, have a lot of money, and they will use that power to get out of prison. And one of the things the villains can do is try to frame our heroes for some crime, and even separate Judy and Nick because, as you saw, the two of them actually ended up fighting in Zootopia 2. That's why we believe the villains can unite and come up with a plan to take revenge on our heroes. In fact, this plan could end up involving the entire police force. But that's something we're going to show in just a bit. Curious? So grab your popcorn and get comfy on the couch. Another Cinewave is starting. Birds. The post-credit scene of Zootopia 2 shows a bird feather falling near Judy Hopps' window. This is proof that in the next movie, we're going to watch a story that involves the birds of this universe. And this is something very interesting for several reasons. The first one is that until now, the world of Zootopia had only presented animals that are mammals. Of course, that changed with the arrival of reptiles, but in the movie, the beaver Nibbles said that the vast majority of snakes and lizards live in another country. It's very possible that with birds, it's the same thing. Birds definitely live in another city, and this is a very important point because the new movie should show a new city. Will we really get to know a new city in the next movie? That would be really interesting, wouldn't it? Let's hope Zootopia 3 shows a much bigger world on the big screen. Romance. You know the next movie is going to show a romance between Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde, right? And for those who still doubt it, know that this is more than certain. Zootopia 2 was a big test by Disney to see how fans would react to our heroes dating. The first Zootopia movie introduced the two as friends, but fans realized they had a more special chemistry, meaning our heroes work really well as a couple. But Disney didn't know if that would actually work or not. And because of that, in Zootopia 2, many romantic scenes between Judy and Nick were created to see if fans would like it, and yes, most fans loved it. The scene where the two are getting a ride on the belly of a walrus in the river. Judy wishes them a happy partnership anniversary, and at that moment, a song starts playing that is the same song from Disney's Lady and the Tramp. So yes, a romance between the two is definitely going to happen. We just need to know if there will be a kiss at the very beginning of the movie or at the end. What do you think? Sheriff, do you think Chief Bogo will continue to be the sheriff of the police in the next movie? We don't think it's going to be quite like that. Anyone who watched Zootopia 1 and also the series on Disney Plus knows that the police chief is one of the biggest fans of the singer Gazelle. We almost never see him smile, but on the day he decided to dance at a show by the most famous singer in the world, Chief Bogo enjoyed it so much that it looked like the happiest day of his life. That's why we believe this character might leave the police force in the next movie and start his career as a professional dancer. And who knows, maybe Zootopia 3 could even end with Judy becoming the new sheriff of the city. But of course, that would be a bit hard to happen, since our favorite officer is still a little too new to take on that job. Let's remember that even though she is the protagonist, Judy is still a police officer with little experience. Another possibility is that Chief Bogo leaves the police force on a secret mission, where he pretends to be a dancer and is actually undercover as an artist to catch the real villain by surprise. Will that happen? Hopefully yes, because it would be really funny to see Bogo dancing on a stage. Do you like Gazelle's shows? Comment number dance so we can get to know you. Villain. Speaking of the villains in Zootopia 3, what if the antagonist of this story is actually a bunny or a fox? That idea might sound crazy, but it's actually almost genius. If you pay close attention, you'll realize we're very used to the idea that bunnies are always good, while foxes are just victims of prejudice. But who said there can't be an evil bunny? Or a fox who isn't as good as Nick? One thing that could happen in this movie is the arrival of a very handsome bunny who catches Judy's attention. He could be her first boyfriend. And in the end, we would find out that this bunny is actually a very evil guy who is trying to deceive the protagonist. That's because, in reality, he works for former Mayor Bellwether. But how is that possible? It's simple. The villain had a plan to build a city where only small mammals would be free, including bunnies. And because of that, it's very possible that not all animals are happy with Judy, and this evil bunny might want to take revenge on our protagonist. And remember this, we're very used to seeing bunnies as good animals, and that may work for Judy, but not for everyone. Police officer! And now, a big controversy. Zootopia 3 might show a villain who is a police officer, and that is very serious. One of the most important things about this theory is that it highlights a very serious problem that exists in the city of Zootopia. So far, all the mayors have turned out to be bad, even Brian Horse, so why wouldn't the police be the same? Do you understand how this could be a huge problem for our characters? Because if there is an evil police officer, then the citizens of the city shouldn't trust our heroes. And as everyone already knows, each movie in this universe has an important theme. In the first one, it was prejudice, and in the third one, it could be trust. But what do you think about that? Gazelle. Another thing that could happen in this new movie is that the singer Gazelle might be arrested. That's because in Zootopia 2, she and her dancers got into a fight with the zebra police officers. The problem started at the Lynx family ball, when Gary shows up and causes a big mess. In that scene, the zebra officers shove one of the dancers and almost hurt Gazelle, but at the end of the movie, the singer helps Judy Hopps escape and gets into a fight against the police officers. The problem is that hitting a police officer is a serious crime, and this could become a huge problem in Gazelle's life. Will she end up getting arrested for fighting police officers? Hopefully not. Theft. Another thing that could happen in this movie is the theft of a bird egg. Everyone knows that this franchise always places a big mystery at the center of the story, and since the next adventure has already confirmed the presence of birds, a possible secret could be the theft of an egg. The thief could be someone who knows that some birds lay very rare eggs, and that's why the egg was stolen. Do you remember that at the beginning of Zootopia 2, Chief Bogo said that at the city's port, that Anteater was helping transport illegal items. That's why a bird feather fell near Judy's window. A bird must be looking for our heroine because only she can help. Since Judy and Nick saved the reptiles, they can also help the birds. What do you think about that? Would you like to watch this story in theaters? The subscribe button is right there, waiting for you. How about clicking and keeping up with everything we post? Another city. There's a detail in Zootopia 2 that completely went unnoticed by fans. The marine mammals. In this story, we discover that animals who live in water, like dolphins, also live in Zootopia. They appear in places like the swamp market, but there must be a city underwater, just like the restaurant we saw beneath the lake. Because of that, it's almost certain that in the next movie, we're going to see another city beneath Zootopia, where only marine animals live. And that's a really cool idea, right? Will Judy and Nick meet a dolphin police officer? We'll find out in the coming years when Disney confirms the new movie for theaters. Death. And now, a very tense moment. Zootopia 3 may show a mystery involving a terrible crime, someone's death. And yes, we know that's pretty heavy, but there are many clues that this theme could be part of the story. The first one is that Zootopia 2 already showed a similar crime. Paubert's great-grandfather took the life of a turtle, while the lynx himself tried to do the same thing to Judy. In other words, the Zootopia universe has already shown that this is possible. Because of that, Judy and Nick may have to solve mysteries involving a criminal who attacks characters around the city, and unfortunately, some of the victims end up dying. Could this really happen? It would be a much darker movie, full of action. Would you like to watch a story like that? Let's wait for the new movie to arrive in theaters. Pollution. In Zootopia, stories always appear that show the city's problems, not just the personal lives of the characters. In the first movie, we had prejudice against predators, while in the second one, the theme was the theft of reptile lands. But what if, in the next movie, the problem is air pollution? This is very important because the environment could be a very strong theme for the next movie, especially since birds are arriving in this new story. Birds could have trouble flying because the city's air might be contaminated, and in this case, the fault would be the city itself. But we don't know what could happen, since the villain of this story would once again be the mayor, and Disney wouldn't repeat the same storyline, right? Old friend. Another thing that could happen is that an old friend, or rather an old girlfriend of Nick, Nick, could appear in this movie to try to pull her ex-love back into the world of crime. The story could begin by showing Nick living his daily routine as a police officer until he receives a phone call from a girl. He recognizes her voice instantly and knows that his past is about to be revealed. Judy asks what happened, and Nick tells the truth, explaining that in the past, he had a crime partner, another fox, a girl who was his first love. In their last robbery, his ex-girlfriend managed to escape, but now she's back because she wants to steal something very important for a client, who is the true villain of the story. And this could connect to the theory that someone is going to steal a very important bird egg, maybe the egg of an endangered species. And of course, Nick won't help his ex-girlfriend, but her return could reveal a lot about our hero's past. And maybe, because of this, Nick could even get arrested. Could that really happen? It would be a very cool movie to watch. Baby. And one thing many fans believe could happen is that Judy will start a family alongside Nick. And if that's true, then our heroine might get pregnant and have a baby. Zootopia has not yet revealed whether different species can have children together, but if it does happen, we're going to meet the cutest baby in the world. Are you ready for that? We definitely are, but we'll still have to wait for the movie to be released in theaters. Until then, you can stay right here with us. The fun doesn't stop here. There are 2 amazing videos waiting for you on the screen. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.